Alright, I want to show you guys how we rotate and set these heads, right? Because you don't really need anything but a Rainbird screwdriver to do it. And you got to kind of understand how it works. So the first thing you need to know is that in order to set the head, you got to set the left side of these 5000s. Okay, Rainbird 5000 is simply what we're using. Hunters are a little different, but as far as the 5000s go, you're going to set this arrow exactly where you want it to end up. So you can see we're running right down the edge of this tree line, and then if you listen, you'll hear where the head stops. Okay, and so this head is actually probably a little over rotated because it's going to spray. It probably just goes to the left of that tree into the corner of the yard, which is probably about where it should go. But that's how you rotate these, right? And so I actually got a bad review on Google from a guy who didn't understand how heads are adjusted, because this is a brand new head, so you can do that really easy with your fingers. But once the heads get old, you use this thing right here, you stick your screwdriver in, you twist it, and then you can pull the neck up and you can grab the head by the neck, and you would actually twist it to the left to reset that left, and it'll make a little bit of cranking sound if the gears are broken inside. And so when our irrigation tech went to go adjust it to the left, the guy said, "Oh, you broke it." And our irrigation tech, he was a younger tech, he knew how to fix the stuff, but he didn't know why or what. He was just doing it, and so now the head, it wouldn't set because the gears were all stripped inside, which is the same reason why it was probably hitting the house in the first place, because the gears were stripped and it wouldn't hold its old set. So you set these to the left by just grabbing the neck of it and twisting the neck, all right? And then you can just tighten or lessen. You can open or close basically the rotation. So if I twist this thing this way to the left, counterclockwise, what's going to happen is instead of opening all the way over here, it's only going to open to about there, right? And so it will reduce the angle. But all you're doing with these heads is you're setting your left side, and then you're determining the angle with this right here, okay? If you're putting the head in new, you are going to have to tighten this down. I think it takes about 18 cranks. If you do 18 twists, a good full wrist twist 18 times, that usually tightens that screw down enough that it'll hold your nozzle in place, all right? And again, when you got to put that nozzle on, just stick your screwdriver in here and then rotate that screwdriver 180 degrees, pull that up, and then you can pop that nozzle on as long as that screw's backed off. And then, of course, tighten the screw back down about 18 twists from where it comes from factory setting. And I believe nowadays you can actually buy these pre-nozzled, so you may not have to be putting nozzles in anymore. But that's how you adjust the head. And so, be careful. Customer might think you broke their head when you go to set the left adjust, because it does look a little bit aggressive, but that's just how it's done, guys. So like I was saying, you just stick this down, get it all the way in, then you twist it over. Careful, sometimes it'll grab. You're not supposed to twist. If you see it rotate, it didn't twist, right? But once you got it in there, you can just pull it up like that, all right? And now comes the tricky part, because now I only have two hands. And generally what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this neck with my left hand right now, all right? Since I don't have a left hand, I'm just gonna try and set this down for a second on my knee. Grab that. And then I pull my screwdriver out of it, right? But you can see that screw right there is the screw that I'm talking about. You got to screw it down. It's got to be down far enough that it's over the nozzle, all right? So the nozzle isn't up into that little notched out part, so it's got to get beyond that notched out part, or else it's not going to hold it down. And if you need to do any reduction on your distance, or you need to fan out your spray because it's shooting too stream-like, you can tighten that nozzle down to get a little bit of reduction in distance and a little bit more fan on your spray as well. And that's going to be this upper hole right here, the one at the very top, the top of the arrow. So you pull it up with this one on the right, this one on the top. You can tighten down the nozzle, And this one on the bottom is how you adjust the rotation, right? And if you wanted to reset the rotation, you would just forcefully twist it from here. But since this one is brand new, I don't even have to forcefully twist it. I can literally set the rotation just by twisting it like this, right? So now my head's spraying into the tree, which is not what I want, but it's still gonna open up the same distance, right? So instead of spraying back to the corner of the yard, now it's gonna spray into the kid's playset, which that's fine. Since I adjust these, I'm just gonna go all the way around and do a 360 and put it right back into the angle that I had it at before, shooting down this tree line right at the dogs. And then when I rotate it, it's gonna shoot back into the corner of the yard. And that's easy as that. That's how you set your irrigation head rotations.